If you're getting annoyed at the fact that your channel is not growing the way you would like it to be, then you could be making one of these mistakes, which is going to be holding yourself back. The reason why I know this is because I used to make all these mistakes myself, but when I stopped making them, things drastically changed. Some of these things might not be easy to achieve, but if you do want to get a start on growing your channel the way you want to, then you've got to knuckle down and make sure that you are going to be improving your content and your channel. I even still make some of these mistakes to this day, but the main point of this is to prevent making these mistakes more and more, so your channel will be better in the future. Without further ado, let's hop on to mistake number one. Mistake number one is always finding a blame for when your video doesn't do very well. I used to always find this difficult. When my videos weren't performing well, I would always blame something, just YouTube, or I'm not lucky, or whatever. But in reality, I can't always find an excuse for being lazy when making my videos. If you are posting a video and it's not doing well, think to yourself, am I just being lazy here, and is my video quality actually good enough? Because at the end of the day, being lazy and making videos do not mix very well when you would like to hit the YouTube algorithm and perform on the platform. I know that it can be hard to take blame for your own mistakes in your content. However, you need to be able to do it to progress well. If you don't do this, then you could be stuck in a rut where you're like, this is bad, that is bad, it's not my fault. But the sooner you can understand your mistakes, the better, and the quicker you will hit that sweet, sweet algorithm, baby. The next mistake is not learning how to title your videos correctly and how to use a good thumbnail in combination with that, and learning how to create good thumbnails.
Haha,
Guys,
you suck. You don't even
can
know
you
how
hear
to
that?
make a good YouTube
Colin,
video.
can you hear that?
Loser.
One second, Chad. Let's go back in time to when I was making this exact mistake.
What did he say?
I've got a video coming out soon. What do I title it? I'm thinking just playing Fortnite. Yeah, and thumbnail, I cannot be bothered to make a thumbnail, so we'll just skip on that. And post. Going back to that clip there, you can see that I wasn't taking posting videos and making titles and thumbnails serious enough, and that can be really detrimental to the growth on your channel. If you're not doing things like that, then you're not gonna simply grow. Now, if you don't want to be like him and be stuck on 15 subscribers, getting a viewer video, then you gotta start making some good titles and making some thumbnails. Now, I understand it can be really overwhelming when you're like, how do I make a good thumbnail? How do I make a good title? How do I do this? Well, my biggest tip for you is to look at other people in your niche who are making a similar kind of content to yourself, and try and take things out of their thumbnail, take things out of their title, and use it in your own way. But please do remember that you cannot copy someone's things directly. You'll get some bad credit in the community, and also it's just a silly thing to do. Most people, when they're starting their YouTube channel, make that mistake, and they get really embarrassed afterwards, and they're like, oh no, I don't know why I did that, and then they delete the video afterwards, and you've got nothing to show of it, and that is a waste of time. So just make sure to do the thing right now, and you'll be good in the future, instead of taking a lazy shortcut and just copying someone off the bat. Anyways, this moves on to tip number 3, or should I say mistake number 3. Let's go. Mistake number 3 is being afraid of change. Just how I am afraid of changing the colour of my t-shirt. There we go. I guess I've changed shirt. Anyways, moving on to mistake number 3, as I was saying. Don't be afraid of making change. If you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, and nothing is coming from it, make sure to change the content you're making. Change it up a bit. What are you doing wrong? Look at your content and try your best to decide where you want to be improving your content and what you want to do to improve and change your content to make it more enjoyable for one, yourself, and two, the viewers watching. Because at the end of the day, those are the two most important things when making your content. On YouTube, things are always changing, and that means it can be really difficult to identify what is changing. However, if you're not changing at the right speed along with everybody else, your channel's just going to sink or burn and die in the algorithm, and you do not want that to happen to yourself. So, what do you do if things are changing? Well, you just need to experiment, and you need to make sure that you're not changing things too much and too drastically in such a short period of time. Things in YouTube, although they change really quickly, it's small things that change all the time. So as long as you are able to keep yourself up to date with things like that, then you should be completely fine and not get lost amongst the thousands of other videos that are using these things and changing their content, whereas you're stuck here just playing Fortnite in your title. Anyways, moving on. On to the last mistake. Now, this mistake is probably one of the most important things and one of the biggest mistakes you could actually be making on YouTube right now, which is being a sheep. If you're doing the same thing as everybody else, not as many people are going to want to watch your content, because this is something that I picked up on when I was first making content. I do lots of streaming myself, and I streamed some Fortnite custom matchmaking, and I was always doing the same thing as everybody else. Doing this, doing that, Fortnite scrims. I was just blending in with every other stream, making the bland titles, bland thumbnails, and you need to stand out in order to succeed, especially if you want to perform in such a highly saturated form of content. So just make sure and keep in mind that you need something different, a little sparkle you could even call it, to your channel. Otherwise, you're just going to fall behind the curve, and that's not what you want if you really want to exceed on YouTube in today's space. But anyways guys, thank you all for watching today. Please make sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And if you want to see more content like this, please comment down below what tips and what things you struggle with, because I would be happy to help, and I really enjoy making this form of content. It's a bit different for me and it's dope. So thank you all for watching. Peace. Gordon, can you hear that too? Is it tip number 2 time? Tip number 1 or